activities of a bank. Somewhat we have discussed it. There, one side you can see depositors, that is given here. Left side, these all are depositors who deposit money into the bank. For their deposits, they get interest and also security for their deposits. And right side, you see here borrowers. These are called borrowers. They took a loan from the banks for different economic activities. So those people who deposit money, they get interest from the bank. Those who take loan from the bank, we call them borrowers. They have to pay interest along with the amount what they take as a loan. So in this way, we see bank acts as a mediator between depositors and borrowers, right? And here we see there are many economic activities. Bank extends loans for the borrowers. So here there is a huge demand for economic activities, that is loans. People daily involved in many economic activities, so they need loans. So there is a great demand for loans for various economic activities. In the following lesson, we will discuss how the bank uses the deposits to meet loan requirements of the people. So here the bank organizes deposits into the loans. So in this way we see that bank mediates between depositors and borrowers, and bank charges a high rate of interest on the loans than what the bank offers interest to the depositors. So there the interest charged by the banks on the loans is higher than the interest given to the depositors. So the difference between the interest on loan and interest given to the depositors will become income to the banks. That means, for example, 10,000 one person deposited in the bank, then he may get, for example, 1,000 rupees as interest. Then somebody taken loan from the bank, a borrower, a 10,000 loan is taken. So on that loan, for example, bank may charge some 2,000 rupees, right? So in this way we see that the interest rate on the loan is greater or higher to the interest given to the depositors. So 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees collected from the borrower by bank, 1,000 will be paid to the depositors for their deposits. Remaining 1,000 bank uses for its activities and administration. That what we call primary source of income for banks. So what is the primary source of income for banks? It is the interest collected from borrowers, right? So in this way, there is a loan activity from banks. Understand? So let us move to another one, that why people required credit. Why does the people take loan from the water banks? Understand? So is it needed to the people to take loan from the bank, right? So let us see that compared to the past, people's need for credit has increased. Going to the past and today, we find that there is a lot of increasement for credit in the financial system. There are variety of reasons for people for taking credit in the sense loan from the bank. Okay, people may take credit for different economic activities, right? So people need credit for various purpose. Understand? One is that we see that there for agriculture practices, in agriculture field, farmer want to buy the seeds, right? Or farmer want to pay wages to the workers, farmer want to buy a tractor. So different economic activities, people take loan, that what we call credit. Understand? Earlier most of the inputs were supplied by farmers themselves. They used their own cattle for ploughing and took help from family members for other agriculture works like sowing seeds and manuring their farms. But today, the new farming practices need a substantial amount of cash in hand readily for buying the seeds, for fertilizers, for pesticides, and to pay for ploughing and threshing, harvesting, and for hiring the workers. For all different works in agriculture field, there is need labors. So labors are recruited on what to call wages. So they have to pay wages to the workers. For that they need cash. They want to buy the seeds. So they want to buy the fertilizers and pesticides. Right? For all these works, there is a need of cash. So for getting cash, it is very essential for the farmers to take loan, that is credit. Understand? So for various reasons, people may take credit. Understand? This is for agriculture practices. Understand? If you see that somebody may take loan for higher education, right? Somebody want to what to call make marriage of daughter, somebody want to construct a building, right? Somebody want to start a business. So like this various reasons are there for the question, why does people require credit? Understand? So the increased availability of consumer goods in the market and arrangements of finance also increased the variety of credit arrangement. Today we see that number of credit arrangements we find in the market. Understand? There are various types of credit arrangements in the market. Understand? We get a variety of goods. It is from food grains to utensils and home appliance and furniture, right? Today we see that to buy a mobile phone, there somebody takes credit, or to buy a television LCD, or refrigerator or maybe washing machine, that is home appliance. Understand? For different activities they need credit, that is loan. Okay, so manufacturers and sellers of these goods, they encourage the people uh, that they with regular monthly incomes and having bank accounts to buy on credit. See, today we see that many of the people are able to get credit because the credit system has become easy, because that the manufacturers who are producing the goods and the sellers who are selling the goods. Suppose you visit a Honda showroom, there you will see that many of the financial persons ready to give loan for you. Suppose you go for a showroom to buy a mobile phone, there you will find from Bajaj, from Ashok Leland, from ICICI, like this, and from that own company also. Sometimes the own showroom also may provide credit, right? So there we need to satisfy the terms mentioned for getting credit. Understand? So what are the terms they keep here, right? Generally, those who want to take credit, they should have monthly income, regularly monthly incomes they should get. That is one, what to call, comes with a salary slip. Second is that they should have the bank account. Understand? So these two are enough in the credit system. Okay, so to buy on credit, there they and pay in monthly installment, they should get monthly income regularly, and they should have a bank account. Okay, to understand this, here is one example. Okay, for example, suppose if you want to buy a television of 20,000 rupees, you can pay 5,000 initially in advance as a down payment. You know, suppose you are going to buy LCD, which is a 20,000 cost price, 20,000 price. Then there the showroom, when you visit the showroom, there you will find many of the financial persons, those who give loans. They ask you to that just you need to pay 5,000 in advance. That is what we call down payment. Remaining will be paid in the monthly installment, right? So here 20,000 television you can buy just paying 5,000 as a down payment, and the rest of the amount should be paid every month in a period of 2 years. So people also borrow money to make the payments of the school and college fees. That is what we call education loan. For health services, somebody want to what to call go for hospital, then they may take the water loan, right? One of the major reason for indebtedness, that means why do people suffer with debtness, why do people fall in debt? Okay, that is that they buy sorry they borrow what to call credit for medical requirement. That is, the amount borrowed for medical requirements is very high. So many people in India are suffering with indebtedness. Indebtedness means in the sense they fall in the grip of what to call debts. They suffer with the amount which they have taken loan. Okay, అప్పులో కూడుకుపోవడం అంటాం. Okay, so one of the major reasons for indebtedness is that the borrow for medical requirements. Understand? And as business and trade increases, people's requirement for loan also increases, right? Trade is increased, we see that numerous products available in the market, and those product sellers and producers are trying to attract consumers by giving various methods and arrangements of credit. So there is people's requirement loan also increases with increasement in trade and business. A substantial part of business is financed by the borrowings from various sources. You know that people may start a business by borrowing money. The idea is to earn more than what they have to pay as interest. Understand? When they think to earn much more than what they take loan, then only they come forward to take the water loan. So how does it work, right? How this credit system will work here? To understand how does this credit system works, let us see two different examples, right? Let's move with one example. Okay, here it is given that it is a festive season 2 months from now, and the shoe manufacturer, what is my festive season? It may be Diwali or Dasara or Sankranti something, right? 2 months are there for the festival. So here manufacturer Anil has received an order from the what to call a big trader in the town for producing 3,000 pairs of shoes to be delivered in 1 month time. Understand? In 1 month time. Okay. So this we see here. Understand? Anil, who got an order from the big trader, and he is in town, he need of 3,000 pairs of shoes that to be delivered and sold in the market in during the festival time. So Anil has to hire a few more workers for stitching and pasting work, for producing the shoes. Understand? So he has to purchase the raw material, right? How the shoes are produced? There is need of workers for stitching and pasting work. There is need of money to buy the raw material for making the shoes. So for all these activities, to meet these expenses, Anil has to take loan from two sources. So here Anil have taken loan from two sources. First, he asked the leather supplier to supply leather now and promises to pay him later. This is the first source. Anil is taking a loan from the leather supplier. Leather supplier supplies the leather, which is the raw material, to make the water shoes. Okay, there Anil promised to the leather supplier that he will pay later. So that is the first source of a loan for raw material. Second, he gets a loan in cash from the trader as advance payment for 1,000 pairs of shoes. So what is that here? 3,000 pairs of shoes Anil agreed to deliver in 1 month to the what to call a big trader who is in town. And to get these 3,000 pairs of shoes, Anil has taken two types of loans. One is he asked the leather supplier to supply leather in advance, then he promised to pay later. Second is that he taken certain amount from the trader to whom he delivers that 3,000 pairs of shoes. 1,000 what to call a cash equal to 1,000 pairs of shoe is taken by Anil well in advance. Okay, so that is a what advance payment, what we call advance payment. Okay, without giving the 3,000 pairs of shoes, certain amount equal to 1,000 pairs of shoes is taken by Anil well in advance. So this amount equal to 1000 pairs of shoes, and the leather which he taken as a loan from the leather supplier is used by Anil to make 3000 pairs of shoes instant. So the whole order by the end of the month, Anil delivers what the 3000 pairs of shoes uh, he promised to deliver to the big trader who is in a town. Okay, so by the end of the month, Anil is able to deliver the order. What is the order? 3000 pairs of shoes, and that 3000 pairs of shoes he supplies to the big trader who is in town, and with that he get some good profit and repays the money that he had borrowed. Right, certain amount he borrowed from the what to call a big trader, and some leather he borrowed what to call from the leather supplier. For all those people he pays the money. In this way we see that Anil is able to earn what to call his income. So Anil has taken loan here. What Anil has taken? What a loan from these people. Okay, and we see here a large number of transactions in the economic system we find with involvement of credit. Understand, in every, in maximum day-to-day activities we find involvement of credit. This we find in market, especially in vegetable market. In the vegetable market, that the vegetable sellers they take loan from the what big trader, and they buys the what vegetables, and they sells uh, by that evening, and they repays the loan. Right, so in this way we see that day-to-day activities, a large number of day-to-day activities involve credit in one form or other form. So what is meaning of the credit here? Understand, the definition of credit is given. Credit in the sense loan, right? So how do we define credit here? Credit refers to an agreement in which the lender supplies the borrower with money, goods, or services in turn for the promise of a future payment. Understand? So what is credit? It is an agreement between lender and borrower for supplying the money, or maybe the goods, for promising of future payment. So in the example what we have seen, Anil Anil is a borrower, okay, and the big trader, leather supplier, these are the lenders. Understand, between these people an agreement took place. What is that agreement? Anil agreed that he will pay money later for supplying the leather to Anil by what to call a leather supplier, and he also promised to the lender, that is a big trader, the payment of what money, that 3000 pairs of shoes. So in this way we see that credit refers to an agreement between lender and borrower for getting money, or maybe the goods and services in return for the promise of a future payment. Okay, so this is the definition of a credit. Understand, the other word for credit is loan. What is mean by loan? It is what, an agreement between the lender or borrower. Okay, lender may be a money lender, a financial supporter, or maybe what, a banker also. Understand, right? So Anil borrows money on credit to meet the need for working capital for production. What is by working capital? It is that money required to make his work, that is called working capital. Understand, that means to buy the leather, and what to call it, for stitching he need thread, right? And some instruments. For all these things, he has to expend some amount of money. That is called working capital. Okay. So working capital means which is used every time in the process of producing the goods. If you take a what you call agriculture side, what becomes working capital? It is the wages of the workers, and it is the expenses made on fertilizers, expenses made on what you call seeds, to buy the seeds. Okay, all these expenses made on diesel for tractor. So this is what working capital, understand? So here Anil what you call needs some money to meet his work, understand? So Anil borrowed money on credit for meeting his expenses, understand? So the credit helps him to meet the ongoing expenses of production. So Anil taken the credit, and that credit helped the Anil to meet his ongoing expenses. What were the ongoing expenses of Anil? That is stitching thread, then the tools, right? And what to call the leather, he taken from what leather supplier. So for all these things, he has taken loan. So the credit helped helped Anil to meet ongoing expenses of production and complete the production in time, and thereby he got his profit. So credit plays very important role and positive role in this situation. Here we see that Anil has succeeded in getting profit. That means he earned his income. Okay, there when a business is started by taking credit, it may lead to profit or may not lead to profit, it may lead to loss also. So in the Anil example, we have seen that there the credit played very important role and positive role in the sense it benefited to Anil to earn a profit, right? So what we see here, Anil succeeded. So credit played a positive role. In another example, we find that that is a Sapna. Sapna, who is a Sapna here? A small farmer. Understand? How many acres of land she has? 3 acres of land. Okay. What she is growing? That is a groundnut. Understand? She also takes loan from the money lender, right? Because she need a credit to meet her activities. What kind of activities? For cultivation, uh, and what to call for buying the seeds, to pay the wages to the workers, right? For all these things she need credit. So she takes loan from money lender to meet the expenses of cultivation. Okay, and midway through the season the crop is hit by pest. So what happened here? At the middle of the uh, crop cultivation, what happened to her crop? Her crop hit by pest. So crop failed. Total pesticide, what you call pest attacked on crop. So crop failed. So though Sapna sprayed what to call a chemical for our crop with expensive pesticides, it does not work. It makes little difference. That means the spray chemical she sprayed on the crop, it doesn't work. So pest attacked the crop, crop failed. So if she gets crop into hand, she would be able to repay the loan to the money lender and able to earn some income. But what happened in this case? In this Sapna case, we see that Sapna failed to repay the what loan. So here what we see, the credit played a negative role. That means she got a loss. She fell into debt. Understand? She failed to repay the loan for money lender. So that what happened? The money lender charges interest as the delay is increasing in repayment of loan. May Sapna agree to repay the loan for next year. So that next year gone, second year gone, third year gone. So what happens here? there the interest rate on the loan increases. Money lenders generally they charge a high rate of interest. Understand? There is a reason also for Sapna. Why does she taken loan from money lender? Why does not she take loan from bank? That reason we'll discuss later. Okay. So here Sapna failed to get profit. Understand? She failed. She become defaulter for repaying the water loan. Understand? So as she delays in repaying the loan, then what the interest rate on the loan increases instant, right? So how to overcome this situation? Sapna takes another fresh loan for cultivation. Next year she has taken another loan, promising to the water mine lender that she will pay both loans, right? The two loans. So that was a normal year. That means second year she got normal profit, and those were not enough to cover her whole loan. Whatever the income she earned in the second year, that was not enough to cover the old loan. Still, she is in a debt, right? She has to sell some part of her land to pay off the debt because the time is completed. My lender is not ready to what extend the what time for next year. At the time, she has to repay the loan by selling half of her land, that 3 acres land, in that off land, some part of land she has to sell for to repay the what loan, right? So what happened here? Sapna failed to what repay the loan, so that she become defaulter. She repaid the loan by selling a part of her 3 acres of land. Understand? This is the situation we see in this case, that credit has not given positive role. Credit has worked a negative role, right? So whenever we take loan, it may give profit or loss. Understand? When it gives profit, it will be good, right or not? So in the rural areas, main demand for credit is for crop production. We see that many of the farmers in rural area, they need credit. So why does the rural people need of credit? Because they produce crop. So for producing crop, there is a great demand for credit in rural area. Understand? Today we see that farmers, they are agitating at Delhi, right? Have you seen the case in the? Have you seen that situation? What is happening at Delhi? Huh? There are lakhs of farmers, thousands of farmers. They are on the streets of Delhi, demanding the Prime Minister to withdraw the three laws relating to the agriculture. Right? In that, some incidents yesterday, what happened? Turned to violent. Some they what you call taken out the talwars. Understand? That is the situation we see there. Understand? Because farmers are going to face their trouble. So we are not going to discuss about that. Really, they are farmers or not. Okay, that is not our topic. Just the thing is that the farmers need of the water credit.